And we are live. And to say that I'm excited about tonight would be an understatement. I'm going to do the best intro that I possibly can for the person to my left. Keith Ash, I got to meet many years ago in a cave in North Carolina when he was in the band with Star Anna and the Laughing Dogs. Keith then was was extremely kind, generous. We became good friends, chatting every so often through text and whatever on online. I got to interview him last year, and he is the most rock and roll person I know. He has this persona of floating on water when you meet him. He has a smile that sends light down from the heavens, and he is now rocking and rolling even further with the Gemini Affair. And tonight, he is sitting down with a touring fan live to talk about what's going on with the Gemini Affair, the new song that just came out, and everything that's been going on with Keith during the pandemic. So, Keith, I'm going to ask you the simplest question I can this evening, and then it's all downhill from here. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thanks. And what an intro. My God.
Well, it's interesting because to kind of enlighten a little bit more or go into more detail of the first time we met, you know, you
That
were.
place was amazing, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the place. It's called the Cave in Durham, North Carolina, and
Appropriately used.
yeah, and it's this bartender in the middle, like in the bottom basement of a bar, turned this place into a cave,
Yes.
and it was the first concert that I ever photographed. I bullshitted my way into Star and the Laughing Dogs management to allow me to photograph it. I drove 3 hours to get there, got there super early, and we ended up hanging out for a while downstairs. And you guys
Well,
just
thank God you got there early because, boy, with that crowd, I mean, that would have been hard to get in.
I think so. The funny thing is, everybody that was at that show, I have become lifelong friends with.
I
Stacy.
know, I know them all personally now. Yes.
Yeah, we, we're all on the Christmas card list. It was that intensely small, but God, the amount of people that were. I mean, it was such great music, and you guys performed such at a high level. And you are such a fantastic bass player and musician
Oh,
and talented all the way around. And
thank you.
it's amazing watching you play live.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Keith, let's start back a little bit with music in general. Um, you
Hey,
know,
before you go there, I just want to say how awesome it was to hear my buddies, the Stereo Embers, at the top of the show. They're fantastic. I
Oh
love them.
God. First of all, Stereo Embers, those guys have become like I am so indebted to them. When this show kicked off last year to go to just be a touring fan live, Rob Benson has become like a very close friend of mine. And I said, dude, I need I'd like to have a song. I'm trying to figure it out. And that song, it hit me like the lyrics really meant like kind of what was going on at that time. And Rob's like, yeah, have it, do it, it's yours. I'm like, so what?
Yeah.
So I was surprised. Yeah, Stereo Embers. I mean, such a talented group of musicians. They're going to be a part of my benefit in a couple weeks. Um,
Great.
Dude, Seattle, got Seattle music. I'm telling you, I'm trying to convince my wife. Let's just start moving northwest. Let's go to Seattle. My son's getting scouted by Major League Soccer teams. Let's Seattle.
Oh,
Can you start calling us a little bit? I don't want to go to Kansas City. I mean, listen, if that's where we end up, we go. Great, but Seattle. Let's start making the calls.
well, today's a good day to be in Seattle. It's beautiful out. It's like in the mid 60s. It's clear as a bell. And these are the days when I'd come and visit my parents here from LA and think, wow, we should move here. And then somewhere around early March, you're like, what the hell did we do? But it's great. I love Seattle.
So, yeah, Seattle's great. When I came and visited the last time, I was surprised because when I came, and you said it too, I was like, the third day I was there, I saw you. I'm like, Keith, you guys lie. There's no rain here. Like, it was like crystal clear and sunny the entire 5 days I was there. I'm like, this is beautiful. What are you guys talking about? You're
No,
like,
it's always horrible. Terrible,
oh,
terrible weather. Don't move here.
oh, yeah.
Except you. You're welcome to come here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So Keith, I'm gonna, when I think of music, music to me is something very personal. Like it's something that it establishes memories. It is something that like I can release from, and like I always can think back to like when music was influential to me and what bands really resonated with me at that time. When you think back to like what made you fall in love with music, what are the things that come to mind for you?
Boy, that's a loaded question. So much. I always wanted to play. I played piano as a child, um, terribly, and as you can tell, singing wasn't really ideal. I can do it a little bit, but I don't have a lead singer voice or anything. And I thought about drums, but my mom wasn't very into that. So somewhere around 12, 13, I started messing around with my sisters, my older sister's guitar, started taking lessons, and I was just off to the races. And played guitar until I was like 19 and then switched to bass. So from that moment on, I mean, music was always informing my life, but then it just became a whole other level of, learning songs and learning what music meant on, technical levels and visceral levels. So that's kind of my way of avoiding answering that question because it's so much. It means so much, and it means everything from personal to professional. I can be really cantankerous about it, and I can be really sentimental about it. So,
Sure. I mean, I think I think musicians in general that I've talked to, it's like almost like this dig deep kind of question because it is. It's like, for me, when I think back to, music, especially, like the one album that really resonates with me is like, and it's still to this day is like, Dark Side of the Moon. Like, I just
mhm.
remember like that first time, like, I can remember like it was yesterday, like my dad having that and like me listening to it and like, just being like, this is, it was like, just like getting lost in it. And that was like the trigger that kind of led me down the hole of like opening my mind to music. And
Totally.
so,
I was, I'm old, so I used to buy. I was lived in an era that was kind of like now, in terms of I bought a lot of singles. Eventually started buying albums as I got older too. A lot of albums, but even then I was still buying singles. So it's kind of like the way I consume music now, being able to go onto a digital site, Apple Music or Amazon or what have you, and just start picking songs. So I was really like just um, jumping, I was like rock jumping, so to speak, going from one song to the next, just being completely engulfed in that song for maybe a week or two, and then jumping to a new song. So I hear what you're saying. Yeah, and I just had so many turnaround moments. It's hard for me to focus on one that was crucial. Um, but just because I'll start listing things and we'll be here all night.
ain't that the damn truth? You're gonna mention a band I haven't thought about in 30 years, in 20 years or 30 years, and I'll be like, wait a minute, let's
Yeah, I
let's
can go
dig.
down that rabbit hole pretty solidly.
Oh God, yeah, I
But I
did
will
that
say,
with.
David Bowie definitely was a complete turning point for me when I got into him, and then I saw him live on the Serious Moonlight tour, and I'd been into a lot of hard rock and a lot of new wave and maybe a little bit of punk at that point, but that just opened the floodgates to some degree. So I can point to that moment.
Let me ask you this question. And I didn't think I was going to ask you this, but I think it's a great question because I've asked a lot of musicians recently because this question has come up consistently. I'm having a show in June about the top 5 greatest American bands of all time. I'm sending ballots out. People are going to vote on it. Like I really want to have a very big opinion. And I think this band is going to be my top 5, but a lot of people disagree with me and I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
Cause, and especially you being a bass player, I can see where this band might influence you. Maybe it doesn't. We'll see. I think when you think of great American rock bands, the one band that comes to mind in the
Wait, hold
idea
on.
of,
I want to savor the moment before you say the band name for a second.
okay,
Okay, good. I'm ready
okay,
for
okay,
it.
okay, good. When I think of a band that could be influential, that has a lot of hits, that people might not know the band but know the songs, one band that comes to mind consistently is Kiss. And a lot of people say that they don't consider them a band, that they shouldn't be a top five band. Me, I'm like they're in my top five. I think that they do it. In your
Well, here's the
opinion,
thing. I totally understand where people are coming from on that. Um, Kiss was maybe the first opening of the floodgates for me, moving out of Barry Manilow, ELO, into Kiss. I got into them right when they were just about, they were huge, but they're just about stopping being cool. They're right on the verge of it, and I've been with them ever since. They're hilarious and fantastic and ridiculous and beautiful, and sloppy, precise. They're everything rock and roll is to me. So I can see people not putting them in the top five, but I 100% understand where you're coming from on that.
Keith,
And
I
I
will
can go
have.
down the Kiss rabbit hole pretty solidly too. So
Oh God, it's it's I don't know how many
I
of the
got all the
final tours.
posters.
I don't know how many of the final tours I've been to, but I plan on going attending them all. Uh,
Excellent. Yeah, I've
you
had
know,
some pretty solid live Kiss experiences,
oh,
including a maybe 2,000 capacity venue out in San Bernardino, right before the reunion happened. And they brought a show in that was made for a much bigger space. And I'm a little surprised they didn't get shut down, frankly, but that was something else.
oh, it's with for Kiss from me, like I saw them really young with my father. I saw them quite a few times by myself, and then my son and I have seen them twice. One of them was we snuck down to the floor and we're like second row from stage, and my son at that time was, I don't know, 6, 7 maybe, was just enamored by everything going, and I was still enamored by it. But yeah, they're just one of those bands that really eat up. I'm gonna have to send you a ballot. I might have to get your top five.
Uh, yeah, that's hard. I need about 70 to 80 more spaces on there.
Oh man. So
But
and
I won't necessarily defend Kiss, but I'm 100% on the Kiss page.
oh, me too. It's just, when when I think of music in general, and this is why I've always resonated with you and how you and your bass playing, and even the Gemini Affairs. Like I love listening to music that like makes me feel something, whether it's when
Yeah.
it's visually and when it's artistically, when everything comes together. I buy into the whole package. And
Right.
and Keith, you're the whole package to me. When I think of a bass player that plays extremely good, that lives the life that resonates the rock style side of things. That's been a part of so many great bands. Like Laura's talking on here, she talks about you being a part of the Gemini Affair,
All
Laughing
right.
Dogs, Strong Suit, Guessing Game, and Hallow Queen. Um, you know that is why I follow a lot of the things you do, because the music and everything kind of just flows so perfectly together. And it's interesting
Thank
because
you.
you come from an era, and I'm not trying to give away age, that like
Oh,
that.
don't worry about it. I've always looked 10 years older than I am. So
Oh, bullshit.
yeah, I'm only
Oh
28.
okay.
No, I'm 54. I'll come straight out with it.
Damn it. I'll be 36 in a couple of weeks, and I look like I should be 54. Like you don't look
Not true.
54. Rocket what's the old saying? Rock and roll makes you live forever.
Yeah. Well, I had many years where that probably wasn't really the case, but I'm on a different path now. So,
Oh, well,
so
that's awesome. So going into the Gemini affair, because I really want to talk about that. The Gemini affair is putting a oh, there it is.
I come with props.
Oh, I like that. It brings more visualization to the show.
Thank
Um,
you. In
you know,
case you're
he
wondering why it's worth buying, it's white vinyl.
Oh, collectible.
Yes,
And for all those people curious, all you have to do is go to pearljam.com, go to the shop, click
that's right.
into music, and buy it there.
That's right. Available through Hockey Doctor Records. And
It's
coming out eventually, we'll be having more music come out, and that's going to be with our good friend Marcus Millerstock and his G4L label, and that's also he's the digital side of this release is through them as well. So lots of exciting stuff coming up. Anyhow,
You know,
didn't mean to interrupt with my shameless plugs.
no, no. Listen, shameless way. You know, Brad has a good point. Brad says, "Kiss is the Yorkshire pudding of rock bands. Looks good, tastes good, full of air, and not standalone food."
That's perfect.
Still in my top five. Me and
A
Brad
little
argue about
Bridges.
that often. So the Gemini Affair. Let's talk about this because we had talked a couple. About, I think it was about a year ago. We had talked about you know, new music coming out. You were in the works of doing some stuff.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right.
because this, did you record this during the pandemic or was it pre-pandemic?
No, we were all done pre-pandemic. We've been sitting on this for a while. We kind of had the first like half of it done, maybe almost 2 years ago now, and then finished off the second half of it right before the pandemic hit. I had it all mastered and everything, and we were looking at releasing it about exactly a year ago.
Hmm.
But then everything went haywire, and we decided there was a lot better things to worry about in the world than new music. Um,
Sure.
I understand people, needed the entertainment for sure to get them through it, but we just didn't feel like that was what people need to focus on at that moment. So we put
No,
it
I
off,
understand.
and it feels good releasing it now. Actually,
No, and
it
it's
also gave us a
interesting.
lot of time to get a lot more stuff in order, which we would have been scrambling on probably otherwise.
Now, are you going now? I know that you just released the one single, and I know a lot of musicians do this now, where they're going to be dropping kind of singles out for the next few months until I guess more clarity about touring is, available. It's more feasible, and then albums will start dropping. Is that kind of the process you're doing? Is waiting to not release a whole album until you're able to tour?
Not exactly, but still kind of that idea. We're releasing this single. We'll have a second single coming out in a little while. And after that, we'll probably go ahead and release the whole EP. It's just a 6 song EP. We're not letting live performance dictate any of that. We do not plan to do anything live until probably fall at the absolute earliest. We want to make sure everyone will be safe and feel safe, and we are comfortable with it as well. Um, and we'll be looking forward to doing that in the future, but we just want to hold off until there's a little more clarity on that. But we'll go ahead and put the music out.
Okay, and listen, 6 songs. That's a good amount of music. I mean, some of the greatest albums of all time only had 6 songs. I mean, Pink Floyd
Yeah,
Animals is a prime example.
right, exactly. Our songs are not quite that long. I don't know that we sustain 12 minutes worth of good music, but Pink Floyd certainly did.
Yeah.
I like to think of the EPs we've been doing as all the songs you would want to listen to from an album without the ones you would skip.
Oh, that's pretty clever. That is pretty clever. There is because it does happen sometimes. You get this amazing album. There's like that one song. It's just like you press the next button. It's like it just
Yeah,
doesn't fit in my appetite right now.
there's a lot of albums like that
Well,
that could have dropped 3 or 4 songs easily.
let me ask you this: is there anything right now that you're listening to like new? I mean, what are you listening to right now?
I just listened to the brand new AJR record.
Hmm.
My daughter loves them, and their first 2 singles have been out for quite a while. I loved it. I love Bang. I think that's a fantastic song. Barbara Land's great, and I love that their new single utilizes the horn riff from My Little Town by the Paul Simon written, but it was a Simon and Garfunkel kind of reunion moment in the 70s. So I've been listening to that. New stuff, I'm a little out of touch of. I kind of grab as songs as they come by. I wouldn't call Panic at the Disco live, but I think they're fantastic. Um, Dua Lipa is great. There's a lot of good stuff out there, a lot of good singles. I'm being an old man and blanking on other names at the moment, but
I totally get it. That was a
but
question
anyone,
from.
I disagree wholeheartedly with anyone who says that there's not good music anymore. I
Oh,
think there's
I listen.
tons of good music.
I
And the
agree
fact
with
that
that.
it's not so relegated to genre anymore
Sure,
is
totally. I
wow.
couldn't agree with you more. I mean, one of the things that me and Rob Benson from Stereo Embers did, we have this show monthly called Rob and Anthony's World Tour, where we go out, we find bands that are not signed. I find one, he finds one, and then we get recommendations from the fans, or we'll have a guest on and they'll bring one, and we listen to them. Bring it in, and then everyone listens to it for the first time. And God, I have found some absolutely amazing artists through that.
That's awesome.
Well,
And that's great that you're doing that. So cool.
yeah, it's a clever thing. I'm gonna have to we're gonna have to get you on there one time. I mean, one band I would recommend to listen to, and they're going to be on the Rockin' for a Cure in a couple weeks. Paul and the Tall Trees. This guy toured with God, I can't think of his name. Something Bradley, George Bradley. No, I forgot his name. He was this great singer and stuff of that. He passed away. So Paul created this band, and it is like
Yes.
music that should be in like Tarantino movies. Like it is like it's so beautifully done. It's
Super
something.
cool.
Oh yeah. So, and I can't take credit for that. Rob found Paul and the Tall Trees. I have just jumped on the bandwagon of Paul and the Tall Trees.
Excellent. I will check it out. That sounds great.
Oh,
Did I
100%.
see a little question pop up there a little bit ago
Oh, that was
on the screen?
from Matt. That was a question I asked you about what you're listening to right now. Matt had
Got
asked
it.
that. So,
And
and
by the way,
then
I'm spotting the Paul Stanley doll over there.
yeah, so I have Paul Stanley. I have someone you know very well, Mike McCready, his bobblehead. And
Yes.
then today, I found, funny story, I found this. So Jim Mazza designed the T-shirts. I don't know if you've seen them for the event that I'm doing in 2 weeks. Have you?
Yes.
Okay,
Very cool.
so Jim Mazza designed, from Back to the Future, the part where Marty McFly dresses up in that space outfit, says, I'm
Yes.
Darth Vader and stuff. And we were doing it because Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's, and the whole reason we were doing the event was around that. So I happened to be working at FYE in the mall, fixing their fiber, and the guy's putting it out on the shelf, and I said, "Get the hell out of here!" Like, what are the odds, like that? They'd have the Darth Vader character from Back to the Future. So I'm
That's
like, well,
amazing.
that's gotta end up on the desk now.
Absolutely. That's one of my daughter's all-time favorite movies.
Oh, that's great. I'll have to maybe I'll send her a shirt. We'll send her a shirt. I'll get her
Yeah,
a shirt
please,
sent out.
please do.
100%. Um,
And you know the story about that music on the cassette was actually that was actual unreleased Van Halen music that Eddie
yeah,
gave them to use.
oh, so it's crazy you say that because did you listen to the Howard Stern interview with Eddie Van Halen's son talking about like this just crazy amount of like just music they have and they don't know what to
Yeah,
do with.
I did not hear that interview. I heard a few snippets of it, but I am familiar with the. I worked with back in the '90s. I worked with an engineer who engineered a lot of stuff up at 5150,
Mm.
and this was 95, 96, and even then he said there was just it's like Frank Zappa. It was just tons and tons of unreleased music.
Oh, it's crazy. I think
Yeah,
the one thing, it's kind of like the Chris Cornell thing with Chris Cornell's, like they're starting to drop some of the covers he did, and with the unreleased sound, it's just like as fans you want to hear everything. It's just there's so much to it to get it out, and
right.
it's
Well, and
absolutely
as an
crazy.
artist, you often don't want everyone to hear everything.
Sure. I
So
can
there's that
understand
end of it
that.
too.
Totally. So let's get back to the Gemini affair as we
Great.
sporadically just jump everywhere, which is cool. I love that kind of stuff. That's kind of what
And
makes me.
I'll jump in on that because you were talking about t-shirts, and coming up probably the end of this week, we're gonna put our merch store online, and we have a bunch of great designs done by an awesome artist named John Kropp, who
Oh,
I would highly recommend looking up. He does amazing work, and he's done some stuff for us. So we'll definitely be working with him again with more designs in the future. But that's something everyone can keep an eye out for the end of this week.
100%. Once that goes live, we'll also be sharing that on the Touring Fan
Channel
Lives.
fill.
Yeah, we'll share it everywhere. We'll share it everywhere.
Excellent.
Oh God. So now, and I'm excited about that. I'll be buying a T-shirt. Not that I need any
Excellent.
more T-shirts, and my wife will
I
probably
can
kill me
get
for
you
buying
one,
another
probably.
T-shirt. So with the Gemini Affairs new single coming out, let's talk about the whole process. So when did Mike get involved with the single and having it released through his record label?
They got the last year is a blur for many reasons, and we all have the same experience with that. But many months ago, I would say Chris Adams, who runs the label for Mike, and Mike reached out to us. They had hit upon some clips that Jeff had put on social media as a kind of like hang tight. Here's a little preview. We'll eventually be getting some new stuff to you. And they reacted really strongly to it. Wanted to hear what we were working on. I think that Chris had heard our first EP. And, you know, Mike and Jeff go back a long ways. So we sent them the new stuff, and they were thrilled by it and wanted to put it out, which was great. We did, you know, what we did was communicate with them after they reached out to us. So, and just worked out timing wise, gave us a lot of time to get the record done and get on vinyl. And we couldn't appreciate everything they've done for us more. They've just been unbelievably great, as always, and unbelievable promotion for the single. So we really are very thankful for what they've done for us.
Let's talk about the single, shall we? Before we actually show it, because we're going to show the video here in just a second, talk about this single and the writing process behind this song in general.
This song in specific is very similar to how all of our songs work, which Jeff works up a pretty detailed demo, and then I'll kind of give input, and we then take it and work with Don Gunn, who's our producer, co-producer with us, and engineer. He actually makes everything sound good, and then he also plays drums on this song and many of the other songs. He's a spectacular drummer. And in this song, in this particular, sometimes Jeff will send me somewhat more realized pieces of music, and other times he'll send me just a little, like, I just have this idea. And in this case, he sent me just this idea, and I could hear in just the idea that this was a great song. And I was like, please, let's go forward with this. This is awesome. And he worked it up and, you know, eventually got to the studio, and it was one of those ones that just rolled right into what it is. There was no struggling with it. Just one thing led to another and got to the song the way it is now.
Do you want to give any, you want to intro the song and we'll go right into it?
Yes, I'd say besides Don Gunn, the amazing Ryan Adams, I wish, though even better than that, we had Ryan Waters, Old Man Brain. But honestly, Ryan Waters, even better than having Ryan Adams on this song. He is just an amazing guitar player, and he does stuff that is blatantly obvious, and he does stuff that's just sitting in there, and you really have to listen for. But when you hear it, it's just so cool. And the amazing Jen Ayers came in and sang background vocals on this and one of our other songs. And so that's the female voice you hear in the background here. And here it is. You're perfect.
Here we go.
It dies a million times.
Oh, gee, I lost you there for a minute. There we go. We're back. That. So who recorded the video?
So that's Ryan Corey directed that, who directed the last Pearl Jam video, Dance of the Clairvoyants, and he's fantastic. And also want to add that on that song, a wonderful saxophone player here in Seattle named Max Rose played on that bridge part. And to clear up any confusion, in the video, playing guitar with us is our friend Davey French, who is in Everclear, and he saved our butts and jumped in at the very last moment when Ryan suddenly was sick. Luckily enough, not with COVID, as it turns out, but he got sick the night before, and Davey showed up and did the video for us, which is awesome. And to follow up on that, we have in our back pocket a few songs that we recorded all live together at a studio here in Seattle called Studio Litho. That's a Stone Gossard studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Ryan Corey did, yes, he did the Copper Trees video. Excellent.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that guy sleeps because it seems like every day he's posting. He's working on
He
another
is
video
so
for
full of
someone.
energy. I can't imagine him sleeping, honestly. Um, but the live stuff we did 3 songs. Ryan Corey also directed that, and we just did live straight to recording while he was videoing. And Davey French came in and helped us out as well. So on those, you'll see both Davey and Ryan, and Jen came in and Max as well. And on our live version of You're Perfect, and we have a couple other songs that will come out as well.
Nice. So it seems like you have the next few months planned ahead of you.
We do, and since you just opened that road for me, I'm going to tell you right now, we just started work on a new video for our next single, which will be a little ways away. It's just in the process, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this next video that's going to come out will hands down be the best video I've ever been involved in.
Wow.
I am 100% confident saying that. So
That's
that's all I can talk. That's all I can say about it for now.
very hush hushed on that one, but that's pretty amazing. Now, I do have a question about something. So you recorded in Stone Gossard's studio?
We did. He has a studio here in Seattle, amazing studio, and I've recorded with other bands there many times, including the Guessing Game back when we did our last 2 records. But we did not actually record any of the Gemini Affair record there. Just we did these live videos there
The
in
reason
lieu of
I
being able to do any kind of live performance.
Okay. The reason I ask is I feel as, and I've been in a couple different studios, and I feel like everyone has a different feel to it. And I was just
Yeah.
curious if his personality matched the feel of the studio.
Um, on some level, yes. In a very Stone Gossard way, kind of the vibe that's there is very, I would say, like Stone. It's very, you feel very comfortable. There's something going on that's hard to put your finger on, but it makes everything better. Um, but it's also a little more garish than I would associate with
Hmm.
Stone. So that makes sense.
Interesting.
There's beautiful chandeliers. There's John Entwistle's sharks float above you,
I
which
would
is
never
extremely
expect
cool.
that.
John Entwistle had these crazy sharks in his mansion that somehow ended up in this studio. So there's some very cool stuff there.
That's awesome. So with the single coming out, and it seems, I mean, based off of the feedback I'm getting online, the feedback that I've read online, we had our staff writer Paul Wirt write up a review on it, and we talked about the
Yes,
single. And
thank you
it's
for that, by the way.
oh but yeah, I am extremely lucky to have Paul on staff. He's an absolutely amazing writer, and yeah, he's doing great things. So I'm really excited to have him on staff, and we talked about the single, and the single it's just I like it. It's enjoyable. I love the one thing I love about what a lot of, and it's definitely a Seattle thing for me, and maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of the bands I listen to coming out of Seattle, it seems like the bass, you can hear the bass being played because it's not covered up heavily by guitar playing or the vocals. It's very equal in its own sense that you can hear it. And even in that song, you could hear how the bass is playing, and how it comes out. And it's great, and I enjoy that. For me, being I'm not a bass player because I'm not good at it, but I played bass in high school and I own bass guitars and sometimes mess around a little bit. But
You are a
um,
bass player.
no, no, far from it. But it's I enjoy hearing that side of things. I tend to levitate towards that. It's it's enjoyable.
Well, it's fun for me because I work with a bass player. So, for instance, like in that song, that's the main bass line is something that Jeff wrote, and so it's fun to play something. And I've been in other bands where there's been amazing bass lines written not by the bass player. So I get to put my own spin on it, and you know, have my own places that I put stuff in. But it's great to just be able to start off with that, that kind of template just there for you to work with. And mentioning Jeff, I want to also just, you playing that song, what a great job he did on the vocals on that
Uh,
song.
if a fantastic
I remember
vocalist.
being there for that, and when Jeff's on firing on all cylinders, his vocals are just great.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic vocalist. And what I love about it too is, watching that. And I've also gone back and watched some of the live stuff on YouTube and trying to understand, Jeff in general. Because when we, talking to you and some other musicians that know Jeff, they talk about how you're living in a moment with him. Like when you watch him live, it is very much the way he plays to two people is the way he plays to 30,000 people. It's just like he's all about the experience and living into it. And even in the
Totally true.
video, it's so apparent.
And that's how he is. That's not on stage Jeff. That's real Jeff. You feel like you're in a moment whenever you're with him.
Well, I mean that's fantastic because I mean, unfortunately, nowadays a lot of the stuff that's out there, that's and I know that we're going back to I'm kind of being a hypocrite in a sense because I was saying how much great music out there, but a lot of popular music now, it seems like people they're not they're buying they're selling a gimmick and not themselves, and that's it's hard for me to support something like that because I want to support people that like for instance Billie Eilish, which am I going to be the biggest Billie Eilish fan? No, but I love the fact that you have two kids that made music in their bedroom, and they are putting everything together, and what they're selling is themselves. Like that music is
Absolutely.
them, and I love that.
Absolutely. And that
Um,
comes through. That totally comes through. I'd say that's true with a lot of the artists out there. There's stuff that can be great ear candy and is fun to listen to, which has certainly been true all through the ages. I'm a big fan of horrible ear candy songs that are, just tossaways. And artists never really made anything of themselves, kind of the one hit wonders. I'm all over that stuff. But you can tell when somebody like Billie Eilish is singing, or somebody like Lord. I can go down a whole list, but
sure.
you can hear it in the vocals. No matter what the reality of how those vocals were put together, if the performance is there, even if it's in little chunks that have been assembled, you can hear it. It's like watching a movie. An actor can put together a tremendous performance that can be all kinds of different little moments strung together. And it's a huge difference when a great actor does that versus someone who isn't connecting with the camera.
Sure. Um, Jeff, with the pandemic the last year and really putting a hold on everyone's lives, especially musicians, that that rely so heavily on it, and not just financially, but emotionally and mentally. How did you, as an artist, deal with what the pandemic brought upon us?
For both myself and for Jeff and Ryan as well, uh, it was all about our families. Like it was a moment to really enjoy being with our families and not have extraneous stuff, messing with that. And for better or for worse, So there was a lot of good within the horrible framework of what we were all dealing with, and we're all lucky to have that in our lives. My kids are teenagers. My daughter is a junior in high school. My son's ninth grade. So I've been never gone for too long, but I've been gone a few moments of their lives, and it's just been great to be able to spend so much time with them because it's just around the corner before they go out on their own. It'll be here sooner than you know than I expect.
Well, it's as a dad, and things going by so quickly, it's as a parent that maybe, and stop me if I'm saying anything wrong, but like, we live for them to do better than us, and we always push to give them the best life possible. And it really does. It seems like you blink, and it goes from you holding them as a baby to like watching them grow into these people that they're pieces of you, they're pieces of your wife. And then as they're growing and moving on in life, it's like you start realizing like, all right, well, they're not needing me nearly as much anymore. And then it's like the time slips away. But the
Yeah,
one positive thing about this whole damn pandemic was everything slowed down and moments became more available to do things that we typically didn't do. Whether it was
right.
a bonfire, whether it was like I put movies on outside, and we you bond more as a family. And my children
Yep.
are younger than yours. I have an 11-year-old and a 5-year-old. But damn, I swear, if I blink and my daughter isn't just doing more, and my son now, like we were talking about before, my son getting scouted by professional soccer clubs and being
Yeah, it's
recruited and
crazy.
stuff. I
So
just,
cool.
yeah, it is. And then it's like, well, yeah, there's an academy we want to. I'm like, I can't. I'm not having my 11-year-old leave me to go to. Get out of your mind. Um, but no, it's crazy, and that's the one thing that, like, if there's any positive that you can look at from the pandemic, which there's really not, but if there's one, is that like it made you slow down and appreciate what you have.
Absolutely, absolutely. We within my family we lost a lot of people, not to the pandemic. They would have we would have lost them anyway, but we kind of got uh, bam, 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 one after another over this past year and a half, and it was all fine. It was nothing unexpected for the most part. Um, but it definitely in those moments it makes you appreciate what you have and the time you have with the people you love.
Yeah,
And
and I and
I, I will say that those first 5 to 10 years with your kids, I always say that it's the longest days and the quickest years. And then once they're in like middle school, it's just quick. It just starts going super fast. But and I hear you about them not needing you quite as much. There was a moment when my kids were maybe like 8, 9, that my wife took me aside one day. Finally, was like, "You don't have to put the toothpaste on the toothbrush for me."
mm,
I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess you're right."
yeah, no, I hear
And
it's
so
like,
I keep having a lot of moments like that.
yeah,
The kid's
it's
like,
like,
"I got this, Dad. It's okay."
no, I don't like it. Like my daughter's like, well, I'm just gonna go shower by myself. I'm like, no, no, no,
Oh, wait, really?
you take a bath and
Yeah.
play with your Barbies. You call me when you need your hair washed. I'll be right there. No, 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 I'm gonna take a shower. I'm like, oh,
There it is. Done.
I know.
Yeah,
It's just, and then it's like,
absolutely.
it's, and I only have two, so like she's, and we do not plan on having any more. Knock on wood. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I mean, if it happens, it happens, but we don't want another one
Yeah, we were
necessarily.
two and stop as well.
Yeah, we had one. You have one of each, right?
We do. We really lucked out.
That's the same thing. It's like you have one of
Yeah,
each. You get to experience everything. You get to experience like the continuation of your name. Your daughter getting married. The handoff. There's like you get everything. I figured that
right.
much. If I think if maybe we had two girls or two boys, maybe we try again. But I think we're good with two. I threw the white flag in.
Yeah, I'm sure I would have been thrilled with whatever, but it is cool having one of each.
Hmm.
Um,
But
it
yeah,
also
no, I,
points out everything that's you remember being crazy about your own childhood, and you just see it in your kids. You're like, oh God, I'm so sorry.
oh man, it
That's
is.
when it doesn't suck to be old.
Oh yeah, it's Yeah, and I feel recently. I feel like I'm that guy. Like I think we all have had that moment when we were younger. You had like that person to be like, you just don't know how it is. Like you had that person, and you're like, he has knows nothing. I feel like I've turned into that asshole now. Like there's a bunch of
Oh
times
yeah,
where
yeah.
like
I try
my
really
son
hard
will.
not to do that, but it
Oh, and
happens.
it's tough. And then like the situation will be over. My son will be like, "Oh well," and I'll be like, "You have no idea this," and then he'll walk away and be like, "Damn, like I never thought I'd be that person, but here I
Yep.
am being that asshole." So
I don't have to do it anymore, but a while ago when homework really started ramping up, there'd be moments where I'm just like, you guys, don't make me tell you go do your homework. I never wanted to be the person that had to tell their kids to go do homework. Don't make me do it.
mm,
So that was my
mm.
way of telling them to go do their homework.
Oh, jeez. It's crazy, crazy times. So with getting back to the Gemini Affair, the single's out. You can purchase a new single if you go to pearljam.com. You go to the shop, the single's there. You can get the vinyl single right there. And like Keith said, it's on white vinyl, collectible. And what's good about white vinyl? Buy two of them, one to play, one to get signed when they tour again.
That's
So I
right.
would recommend
And
buying. There
it
you
will look
go.
like you're having two fried eggs if you get two.
And then, but like I said, buy two, support the band, and I can't say this enough. In the craziest of pandemics and all these times, music and movies and pop culture and all that stuff is what kept us sane. Let's support the acts that kept us sane during those times. So definitely go out to pearljam.com and be able to and get that single. Also, like Keith was saying, the Gemini Affair this week is going to be opening a shop where they'll be selling some merchandise. Once that goes live, I'll be making sure to share that across all of our social media platforms so that you can be aware and definitely go out and support the band. I will be supporting the band by buying a t-shirt and probably everything else because I don't have enough of everything.
Thank you very much. And I'll also point out you can digitally get the single on Bandcamp, and it's available on all digital stores. Any store you can imagine, it should be up there. And there's been a little bit of confusion because we changed our name to the Gemini Affair due to some we didn't want to run into trouble down the road. And I think most of the stores have been able to accept that new name change. Apple's still struggling with it, but they'll get there eventually. So you might find it under the Gemini and Apple Music.
They
It's
are a
all
little slow for everything.
yeah.
Oh God, and
I
I'm
think
an
they do it.
Apple purist, but they are so like even like when I upload a podcast or anything, it's always just everything else will be automatic. Them it takes hours or days to get on. It's brutal.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure what's up with that, but I do love their products.
I do love their products though. It is
Yeah,
simple and it's I love it. They last a
yeah,
long time. Um,
absolutely.
so with that coming, so definitely check that out. Also, if you're going to be purchasing the single on Bandcamp, I would 100% suggest purchasing it on a Friday because on Fridays, 100% of the proceeds go to the band instead of any cut being put out there. So this Friday, I'll make sure to post on our page a reminder to go out and purchase a single so you can help support the band every
Yeah.
way possible.
And super cool Bandcamp to be doing that. There's
Oh,
a lot of
100%.
people bending over backwards to help artists out, which is great.
Definitely. Keith, I'm gonna do a shameless plug for my event real quick, and then we're gonna get back into
Please
talk
do.
real quick before I forget. So for everyone that's let's do this. Let's where oh god, I hit too many buttons. There we go. Everyone on April 24th on Facebook Live, Rockin' for a Cure is going to be live, and the bands are sending over the videos now for this event, and they are amazing. On April 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kevin Martin from Candlebox, The Copper Trees, Tyler Ramsey, Stereo Embers, Richard Subaru, Black Circle, Jackson Pines, Carrie Ackery, Rob Benson, Paul and the Tall Trees, Last Night's Villain, The Mums, Paul Wirt, and more will be performing for Rocking for a Cure, an event that is going to raise money for the American Parkinson's Disease Association. And you're wondering why we're raising money for the American Parkinson's Disease Association? Well, there's two reasons. I'm going to go back to video. One is because in this time of craziness in the world, a lot of people that have Parkinson's, insurance is not covering anything for them because unfortunately, FDA is not approving any of the procedures or anything to make them comfortable. So if it's not FDA approved, unfortunately, insurance isn't going to cover it, and then that's giving a big bill to people that just can't afford it. And a lot of people are now stuck at home, not getting any of the proper help to fight Parkinson's, and it's terrible. So what we're doing right now is we're doing this event to raise money for that. And if you're curious why this is important to me, it's because I have an aunt that I look up to as a mother, that I look up to as a role model, that has Parkinson's, that has really affected her life and the quality of life, unfortunately. So that's why we're doing this event. So if you want, we have T-shirts on the Touring Fan Live that Jim Mazza designed, that shows this logo right here, and on that logo it has my aunt's name on it. You can purchase that T-shirt. All the money is going to the American Parkinson's Disease Association. Also, you can check out. You can also check out we're doing a Facebook online donation link that we're already exceeded our goal on there to raise money directly going to the American Parkinson's Disease Association. So you can check out www.touringfanlive.com to find out more about the bands that are performing, the time, and all that great stuff, and to purchase some stickers, purchase some shirts, purchase whatever. Everything's going to the American Parkinson's Disease Association. So with that
And
being
that's
said,
so awesome you're doing that. I'm really proud of you. That's phenomenal. My mom had Parkinson's, so I
oh,
greatly appreciate this kind of work being done.
well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's you don't, and the thing that I guess I didn't realize until doing this was how many people that I knew that were affected by it, or that had people that were affected by it,
Yeah,
and it's like my aunt in general, like she is just not the same person anymore.
right.
And the one thing that, for her, that really soothes her or even gets her to come back a little bit is music. My cousin, my aunt's daughter that takes care of her, says they'll play Elvis for her. And like, it's
Yeah,
just like she comes back to the person she was. And it just shows you how powerful music is. And that's why I think this event, which is, I really think could be a powerful thing to raise money for people that need it. Yeah, it's amazing, and this has been a year's worth of work to get to this event, and I can't believe it's like two, I guess, a week and a half away.
right.
So
That's great.
yeah,
Hey, I'll give a quick shout out to the amazing karaoke. That's great you're having her on. She's a
Carrie
tremendous
Ockery
singer.
is, and I try to I interviewed her a couple weeks ago, and Carrie has got her performance for the show, which she sent me the video for today, had me in tears.
Yeah,
God,
she
she
can do
has,
that.
her voice. There's just, there's not many people in the world that can sing like her at all.
No, no,
And she is
not
one
at
of the
all.
most kind-hearted, down-to-earth people in the world. And it's just amazing. I'm so excited for this.
Absolutely. She's phenomenal. She sang with us, Story and a Laughing Dog. She sang with us at a bumper shoot performance. And then while she was living in Minnesota and we toured through there, she uh, had us stay at her place, which, yeah, if anyone's ever had a rock band drop in on their house, it's not it's not a normal event. But Mary's familiar with that, so she was very kind and let us crash there. But she's
Oh,
just
she is absolutely, yeah. Such a great person, and today was like an overwhelming day because her video came. I got Kevin Martins from Candlebox and all these, and all they're
also
coming through.
amazing.
It's just I can't thank these people enough that are taking the time to do this to raise money for such a great cause. It's amazing. And
Yes,
the hard thing about it though is as these are coming through, now I'm putting this together. It's like finding the place to where to put everybody because like everybody really is a headliner. So
right.
I have to like get all the pieces together and figure it all out. And God, it's it, it's crazy. But I think people are really
In
going to
this
enjoy
format,
this.
though, it's not. It doesn't feel like a headliner. It just feels like a collection of performances.
Oh,
So
it
that's
really is. It's
that's
such a
the positive to this.
it's such a beautiful thing. And I was talking to one of the main lead doctors out of Staten Island, where the main hospital is that does the Parkinson's like research. And I mean, they got some amazing things going up there. But God, if they don't have to pinch pennies to try to
Right.
get anything, it's sad. It really is. It really is
Yeah.
sad. And I'm sorry that your mother had to go through that. And it's you know
Thank you.
craziness.
She made it. She luckily enough passed away before it had gotten too horrible.
Mm.
So we were happy about happy that she didn't have to go too far down that road. But it's rough. Yeah.
Well, listen, Keith, all I can say is this. I adore you as a friend. You know, I text
Love you, buddy.
every holiday. I make sure you're one of the first people I text. I think you're an amazing human being. I love seeing photos of you and your family. You got such a beautiful family. The new music
You
coming out from
too.
the Gemini Affair is absolutely amazing. So definitely check out Bandcamp. Purchase a single on Friday. His new merch is coming out this week. I'll be able to share that. Keith, hang tight. Don't hang up yet. We're going to end the show right now. But thank you all for tuning in,
Thank
and
you very much.
thank you for tuning in to the Touring Fan Live.